Now it's time for the next week matchup. Next week's matchup, Cardinals preview. Cardinals beat the Tennessee Titans 38-13 on the road in week 1. Minnesota will travel back out to the desert. We'll travel out to the desert. And guess what? Pat P will travel back out to the desert because he was there his entire career until this season. Drafted by the Arizona Cardinals. One of the best corners to ever do it in that organization. Clearly should be in the ring of honor. Man, how will it feel for you going back to where it all started?
You know, Mac, I really don't know. But honestly, at this moment and at this time,
it's
a regular game.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly.
I can tell you this much, speaking from personal experience. And when I went back to Pittsburgh, it was the first game in the preseason. So it didn't have the energy. It wasn't a big deal, but we just played Arizona in the Super Bowl. So that was the first preseason game. I think it was like on Monday night. And I went back to the stadium and it was weird because I'm going to tell you this much. When I first rode up to the stadium on the visitor's bus on the visitor's side of the stadium, I never been there. So I'm walking to the stadium in the locker room and I'm going in like my normal routine when I used to walk into Pittsburgh and Heinz Field, walk to the locker room. I literally passed the visiting locker room. I walked to the home locker room. So it was weird. So everybody, all my new teammates, they walking behind me like, "Hey, Mac, where you going?" I said, "Man, I'm going to the locker room." What y'all talking about? It hadn't even registered that. No, Mac, you don't play at home no more. You're not a part of the home team. Now I'm walking so I walked to the Pittsburgh locker room, but it didn't register to me because so many times, you know how many times you've been in your home stadium and you make the same walk. You travel the same walk, the same distance. Man, as I got to the guys in Pittsburgh, like, "Mac, what's up?" Like, "What's up?" It's like, "Hey, man, good to see you." I'm like, "Good to see me." Like, "Oh, dang, I went to the wrong locker room." I said, "God dang." I said, "Hey." I said, "What, visit the locker room at again?" Like, "Oh, man, you went to the..." I'm like, "Yeah, I went to the wrong locker room, man." So that was a surreal moment, but that was a preseason game. For you, it's a real game. You know, I only played like a series, if that. This is a real game. And how do you think the fan reception would be for you? Knowing that there are a lot of people that still rock with you to this day, and some people kind of get things misconstrued based on some of your statements regarding certain people in the organization. Not the organization, not the city, not the fan base. Right. They take things and run with it based on what they hear, not actually listening. But how do you think, you will be received when you step back on the football field there in Arizona?
No, I have no idea, Matt. I really, really don't. Like, it's gonna be all new to me. You know what I mean? So I really don't know what to expect. So that's why, for the most part, I'm treating this like a regular game. You know what I mean? I don't too high. I don't want to get too low. I want to treat this literally.
No question. Don't get too high. Exactly. Don't get too high because sometimes we get too high, kind of takes the focus off what you need to do. So, like
a regular game, have a great week of preparation, go to Arizona just like we was going to Cincinnati.
No question. And also, too, I can tell you this much. You didn't get a lot of action last week. I know Chase said a few things and everything like that. It was like, I know he, Pat P is a little older in the tooth and all that. He really ain't do too much. But you're going to get some action this week. You're going against, this is good. This is great on great right here. Great on great. And the thing about D-Hop and Pat P, you guys went toe-to-toe many a times. When you were with the Cardinals, when he was with Houston, but you guys practiced a lot last year, practiced against each other last year. Did you learn anything from practicing against DeAndre Hopkins, who is a friend of the show? We had him on early in the season a year ago. Did you learn anything? And what are the challenges for someone like him?
D-Hop is a very, very talented receiver. He obviously don't drop many balls at all.
No.
He's going to catch it. A great 50-50 ball type guy. If the ball's in the air with the 50-50 opportunities, it's a good chance that he's going to come down with it. You just sometimes when you have a guy like that, you just have to be on your P's and Q's for 60 minutes because you know what I mean. At any given time, anything can happen. You know what I mean. So, like I said, great receiver, obviously doing tremendous things in this league. Had a great week 1, 2 tubs, I believe.
6 receptions, 83 yards. I also have him on one of my fantasy teams as well. With shoot.
Being there, obviously, D-Hop's going to be D-Hop, and I just have to make sure that I'm on my P's and Q's to make sure that I don't have him, I hold him to not having an explosive day, because if we're able to do that and get to Kyler every now and then, I think we can have a successful day. But, now we got to go out here, have a great week of preparation, and go out there and prove it, because that's all that matters. Week 2, week 1's over in the books. Now you got to go prove it again.
And talking about D.R. Hop and the success he had against Tennessee, it all came from one man, Kyler Murray, little Mighty Mouse. Mighty Mouse, man. Listen. Woo. Had 4 touchdowns. He ran for 1. He's the 3rd player in Cardinal history with 4 passing touchdowns and a rushing TD in a game for a franchise that began playing in 1920. They had no answer for Kyler Murray. I watched that game. Now, the issue for Tennessee, even going back to a year ago, it can't rush the passer. Can't put any pressure on the quarterbacks. And when you're playing against Kyler Murray, a guy who can improvise and extend plays, it's going to be very, very difficult. And he just tore them up. But on the flip side, you're a guy, Chandler Jones.
Went crazy.
Boy. Listen, they talk about, they were saying, well, he's already going to be the NFC player of the week. Forget the week, the month. What y'all talking about? This man had 5 sacks. He had 1 sack a year ago in 5 games. He had a month already. Pat P, you got to do something credible to get the NFC Defensive Player of the Month, because he already got 5 out the gate. 5, and I think he had like 2 or 3 forced fumbles.
Yeah, 2 forced fumbles.
Yes. But this man had 5 sacks by himself. And it was crazy because my thing is this. Coaches are so stubborn. You see the left side of your line having issues with Chandler Jones. Help him. Give him some help. And me and you talked about this before on a past episode. As players, we would never ask for help. We could never say, Coach, on the sideline, listen, hey, man, I ain't got it today. We never will ask for help. You know that. You can be out there getting beat like a drum, getting beat to sleep. Oh, you would never say, hey, Coach, or even ask that guard, hey, man, don't leave me too fast. You ain't gonna ask for help. But as players, we can look at you and I be like, oh boy, we need to get him some help, man. That confidence ain't there. Coach, why they ain't give LaJuan and whoever else was playing left tackle some help? The tight end, a back, the chip, man, the man took over.
Think about Chan, though. I mean, it don't even matter if somebody help. He got so much in his arsenal. It's not even funny, man. He's so difficult to prepare for, because he presents so many different challenges. He can spin,
swim.
Then he can swim. It's like he's a different specimen, man. He really is. And it was definitely a joy to be his teammate and to see how he moved around the locker room and hanging out with him and stuff like that. So it's not a surprise to me that he did what he did, because I was obviously on the team twice when he had a 4-sack game, and I think when we played the Giants, he had 5 sacks as well. So I've been a part of those sack games when he just was on a whole nother level.
And Taylor Lewan tweeted out, thank you for exposing me. I don't know if you really want to say that, but it happened. And now it's almost like, you remember there was some rumors about Chandler trying to hold out or get traded. They got to pay him now. That's why they should have paid him. They should have paid him before the season start. The price just went up.
Way up.
The price just went up. We just saw what TJ Watt just received from Pittsburgh.
Oh,
man, you can say whatever you want to say. Chandler Jones is older. You don't know if he can continue to play this. This man got 5 sacks in 1 game. He can stumble. He can fall into another 6 throughout the rest of the season. And you got to pay him double digits off the rip.
He averaged a sack a game since he's been there.
He's been one of the more prolific pass rushers when he's been healthy in the National Football League.
That's still on what is the record? 22?
Oh yeah, he's destined. He's destined on the low end to get 19 on the low end.
And he's averaged 17.
Yes. But he averaged 17, but he just dumped out week 1 with 5. And sacks,
what you about to say?
Yeah, sacks just like picks, they come in bunches.
Hey, when they come early, boy,
man. Yeah, so Strahan has the record 22.5. I want to know what that prop bet is for freaking Chandler Jones to trump that 22.5.
I text him Saturday. I said, I know you ready to be in that corner.
What'd he say?
Like corner grill, corner.
He bent that corner. Boy, they had no answer for it. And I had one of my leagues, I freaking started fantasy. I started Ryan Tannehill, and my other option was freaking Jalen Hurts. I said, yeah, man. I left Jalen Hurts on the bench, bro.
Oh, why would you do that going in Atlanta?
Man, I was overthinking the process. I'm like, well, if Ryan Tannehill, who's been Mr. Consistent, you got Julio, you got AJ, you got Derrick Henry. You know what I mean? And I'm like, the balance. Like, I didn't think they couldn't block Chandler Jones to save life. So Ryan Tannehill gave me 12 points. Jalen Hurts gave me 28. But guess what, though? I still won. You know why? I had Adam Thielen and Tyreek Hill. That's it. In the Carolina Panthers defense. That's it. But hey, you get a chance to see your buddy, man, up close and personal. Hopefully, O-line from the Vikings don't allow this man to go off, because he can go off and just take over a ball game if you allow him to.
Yeah, man. We can't.
My prediction, I was pretty close last week, but it was on the wrong end. So this week, 2023, Minnesota, first one of the season, 2023.
Okay.
That under, I don't know what the under going. That probably going to be the under too. I love betting the unders, by the way, listeners and viewers. I had a big under bet, college football. I took Oregon, Ohio State. The under came through. It was 64. The under, it was 63. The under was 64. Took it.